Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben, your go-to podcast for all things green and growing. I'm Ben, your allotment guide, and here to help you cultivate your garden and your passion for plants. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, this podcast is for you. Each episode will dig into tips, tricks and techniques to make your garden and allotment thrive. From planting, sowing and growing, we will share all the tips and advice. We will also have regular episodes talking about what we have been up to on the allotment. So sit back, grab a brew and enjoy today's episode. Hey everyone and welcome back to Gardening with Ben for a brand new episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to protect those strawberries from pests. Yes, a very important subject at the moment, as all the strawberries will be starting to get ripe and get ready for picking soon. And if you're like me, you don't like sharing them with anyone, especially other people and pests. I like to have them all for myself. I don't just share my strawberries with anyone. But before we start with that episode, I just want to say, can you all make sure you check out my YouTube channel, as I'm starting to post a lot more videos again now on there. I posted about 3 in the last couple of days. I did a tour of my allotment in yesterday's video. The sound quality is not brilliant on that one, but I do apologise. Hopefully I fix the sound issues in my latest video. So I'm going to be posting more regular content on the videos. As you know, over the last year, I took a step back on my social media side of things, and I've brought back my podcast now. The podcast is back up and running, and we're getting great views and great listens to. And next up is getting my YouTube channel back up and running, as I want that to be like a main source of sharing what I've been getting up to down there, videos from the plot, sharing tips and advice on what I do down at the plot, and yeah, just sharing bits and bobs with you down there so that you can actually watch and see what I do. And they're not often long videos, they're just short little videos. So if you just check out Gardening with Ben on YouTube, hit the bell on it as well so that you get notified when new videos come up, and I hope that you enjoy them. And as always, please do leave comments on them, as it does help the algorithm push my videos out and get more people following me. So let's talk about today's episode. So today's episode is all about how to protect strawberries. Now there's many different ways out there, tried and tested, and some work, some don't work, but it's all about trying to protect them as much as possible. Now everything loves strawberries, whether it be birds, whether it be woodlice, whether it be wasps and bees, whether it be mice, ants, humans. But yeah, everything loves strawberries. And more often than not, when I've been growing strawberries, when they're turning ripe and you pick them up and turn them over and it's got a massive hole in it from a woodlice, what's been eating them. And obviously the birds love them, and I'm having a few issues with the birds at the moment. The birds have eaten all my gooseberries, and yeah, I'm not happy at the moment with how many gooseberries it's eaten. I caught the blackbird in action today, trying to eat bits and bobs from my gooseberry plants. So you've got to make sure that we do protect them from the birds. So what I will be doing tomorrow is I will be covering them over with netting. However, this doesn't stop from slugs. It doesn't stop the woodlice from eating them. So there's other ways that you can stop certain things from attacking them. So one of the ways that obviously is not a very good way is using slug pellets, as obviously people are against that. But I must admit, I do use them myself around certain things because I don't want them getting attacked and eaten. And yeah. Also, there is another way, and that is to paint a rock red and paint it like a strawberry. I don't know how true and if this actually works or not, or whether it's a successful thing that works, but I've seen it all over the internet. People share it like mad. And what it's meant to do is that the red rock on it is meant to act like a strawberry. The birds will come down, they'll peck on it, they'll realise it's not a fruit, and they'll learn not to eat the strawberries. How birds learn not to eat the strawberries, I don't know. But if you've tried it and it works for you, let me know. I would love to know if it's worked for you. But I wouldn't go off that alone, personally. Obviously, the netting is the main thing to stop the birds from doing it. Now, how do you stop insects from eating the fruit? Now, I've seen another fantastic idea which looks really useful, successful, can be expensive, but it's worth it if you want to protect those strawberries, and that is to purchase wedding favour bags. Yes, wedding favour bags. Now, wedding favour bags are quite small, and they've got tiny holes in them, so it lets the air through and lets them breathe. So what you do, you put the clump of strawberries, what they're growing, inside the wedding favour bag and tie it while they're obviously still growing. This will stop any ants. It will stop the woodlice from getting in. The only way they get in is through the gap in the top if you've not tightened it enough. And yeah, it looks a really successful idea. Like I said, it's obviously expensive, but once you purchase the wedding favour bags, they'll last for years. They'll last for years. And it will be worth it for the good strawberries. So if you're wanting ultimate protection, I suggest getting some wedding favour bags. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I might order some. We'll give it a try, show you how it's done. But yeah, I might actually try that. I might order some actually straight after this podcast and give it a try and see what happens if it does protect them or not. So stay tuned for that, and I'll do a little video on it. But there's obviously, you can grow strawberries in pots, which are off the ground, which prevent a lot of little animals that crawl around on the ground eating them. Obviously, they'll still get attacked by birds and stuff, so you still need to cover them with netting, but it reduces the risk of them getting eaten because they're not on the ground. And the only thing with growing them in pots is that they will dry out a lot faster, so you'll have to make sure you keep them watered on a regular basis. And obviously the strawberries hang over the sides, so it's easier to pick as well. So that is a good option. So yeah, there's quite a few options out there on how to protect your strawberries from the birds, the insects, the animals. And let me know if you've got any good methods on keeping pests away from eating your strawberries. So please do get in touch. Obviously, you can get in touch with me via my Instagram page and get in touch there. So if you're not following me on Instagram, do give me a follow. I'm on Instagram. I go live regularly on TikTok at night and on my allotment and chatting to people on TikTok. So feel free to follow me on there. And I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. It's a little different to usual. Usually I'm talking about what I've been up to down at the plot, but it's good to share tips and advice as well. And I know people enjoy that. So if you've enjoyed this episode, please do give it a like, leave a comment or a question in the podcast, and please feel free to share it to a friend or two, as obviously the more people that listen to it, the more it will get out there. So until tomorrow's episode, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Gardening with Ben. I hope you have found some useful tips and inspiration for your own gardening and allotment journey. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to follow and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss a new episode. And if you have a moment, I'd love for you to leave a review and share the podcast with fellow gardening enthusiasts. Your support helps us grow this community and continue bringing you great content. You can also follow us on social media on every platform called Gardening with Ben for daily gardening tips and updates. Happy gardening, and until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with